tell you that PM Narendra Modi and SJ Shankar knew that Donald Trump is going to betray them in the same manner. And even after that, they did not took any such stand, or they did not take any such cautious step against US. Would you believe that? But yes, this is the true story. When at the start of the time when US President Donald Trump was campaigning for his win and his presidency election, only at that point of time PM Narendra Modi knew that he's a changed man now. He will not going to take such step for India, and he knew that he is not going to take a firm stand against the Indian enemies, and he's still going to make uh, good friendship with Pakistan and not take a stand with India. And time again, US proved it. Even though US President Donald Trump has been always very good to PM Narendra Modi, saying that we are great friends and we'll be, we'll take this friendship for so long and all of that. But on the other side and on the back of the mind, PM Narendra Modi knew that he is going to betray them only because of these certain reason. Do you remember that one time when US President Donald Trump called Ukrainian President Zelensky in the White House briefing, and he called Zelensky, even after that, he embarrassed him like anything. He made fun of him like anything. He was screaming on Zelensky like anything, and everybody was laughing at it. In fact, even India was laughing at it, although the ministry did not say anything, but people in India was also laughing on the entire point of time. And even after seeing that, we did not get cautious enough. We were not thinking of the fact that if they can do this to Zelensky, who was once going to become the member of NATO, then who are we? We are the Asian countries. Why would he really care about us? Then later, he started putting up his animosity with Mexico, Canada, and other nations who had very close ties with the US and have been a great partner of US since a very long time. He actually embarrassed Justin Trudeau. He actually, not just that, he was also threatening Justin Trudeau. And after some time, Justin Trudeau left his position, and there was this another election where somebody came, and he was also in a good ties with US. US wanted to destroy everything. US wanted to come and become the superpower. Only there was this one country he was really scared of, was China, and that is why they did not impose 50% of tariff on China, even after the point where China was buying much more crude oil from Russia than India. Even after that, China was not imposed with any of such things, because US knew that if he is going to do that with China, it would be left with nothing. But US came up to target developing countries like India, Brazil. What he did with Lula was something we cannot even imagine. Not just that, Brazil became the first country to be imposed by 50% of tariff. And even after that, he thought that he could capture Brazil. But on the other hand, Brazil stood and said that you cannot capture me. And they actually took this entire situation on them. And their economy is working really well right now. It's not like their economy crashed. In a similar manner, he imposed 50% of tariff on India. And even after imposing 50% of tariff, India still had a very nice growth. And not just that, we became the fourth largest economy in the world. And that is something which made US President Donald Trump coming under this whole animosity situation, coming under this whole enmity with India. Now, I'm going to state certain reason where you'll get to know that why PM Narendra Modi and SJ Shankar knew that Donald Trump will not become a good friend and rather could be very destructive, but they did not take any such cautious step. First, do you remember this one thing that US President Donald Trump was in such a good relationship with PM Narendra Modi throughout the time of his campaign? But when PM Narendra Modi was called for a US President's oath ceremony, he did not go there. In fact, SJ Shankar went there. He was even sitting on the first two lines. But even after that, when there was this one time where everybody was standing and giving the standing ovation to US President Donald Trump, but this man, S.J. Shankar, did not stand there. And that is how they almost show US President Donald Trump that we are not going to get under your line and under your charismatic personality which you are showing, under your sugary coated words. We knew that what you are planning. But After that, if India, before India could do any such step, US President Donald Trump imposed 50% tariff on us in a very surprising manner. And later, these were some acts which is now have become a reason why US President Donald Trump is thinking of imposing from 50% to 500% tariff on India. I'll tell you what. Firstly, even after imposing 50% of tariff, India did not bow down. India maintain its friendship. India went to South Asian countries. India went to Central Asia. India went to Latin America. India went to Africa. Then India had good relationship with Taliban as well. Taliban delegates came to New Delhi. They were building a new relationship with them also. Then India had this whole thing with Ethiopia, Jordan, and Oman, even the Middle East was captured by India. Now, and after that, India was having good welcome in Qatar as well. And because of all of that entire thing, India maintained a good trade deal with all of these people and actually reduce its dependency on the United States. Before 50% tariff, India was so much inclined towards USA that they used to have the capture of 60% of US market. They were selling garments, agriculture stuff, then seafood, then aluminum, then so many other things. But now India is having a good hold in a lot of countries. And not just that, India has been in a very good situation where he has made a free trade agreement with two European countries. First is UK, the other one is New Zealand. And even after that, US President Donald Trump has been into a situation where he still wanted to drag down India, but India was not dragging down. US President Donald Trump has been very much accomplished enough in destroying countries like Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka. There are no such facts and figures who could state that these countries were destroyed because of US power. But if you do realize that every single time these countries starts having a protest, the protest gets into a verge where the entire government and the entire economy is trashed in one day. Then you see there is an interim government formed, and then you see the interim government which is formed has a leader coming from a place where they have been given Nobel Peace Laureate or anything like that. And these interim leaders are chosen on the basis of Nobel Peace Laureate and not on the basis of what kind of political history they have, or they have been cultivated till now. So basically all of these things are influenced, and that is how we see that Western organizations or Western nations have so much hold on Southeast Asia. And they wanted to do the same thing in India right now, but they couldn't, because out there public is smart enough. There are not such divide and rule policy out here. People are intact and people listen to the government and not the international audiences and international stakeholders who are coming to India and raising different kind of propagandas. But even after that, India stands tall. But this is what which has made US President Donald Trump even more in a weakening situation. In July, India and US were about to have a trade deal. But even after that, what went wrong? I'll tell you what. So, U.S. Commerce Minister Lieutenant Howard has come up with this whole statement that India was having a verge, and the deal was almost signed, almost on the part of signature. When the file went to U.S. President Donald Trump, he said that India needs to call me. And not just that, in July, US President Donald Trump tried talking to PM Narendra Modi 4 times. But even after that, the PM Narendra Modi did not agree on this whole thing, because US wanted to show the supremacy of calling him. If only PM Narendra Modi will call US President, only after that the deal would get finalized. One call was required. The call was not about just calling. The call was about that how US was oppressing India and showing that I am a power and you need to call me, you need to get behind me. And he wanted to show that attitude, where PM Narendra Modi did not took it, because he knew that he is going to agree on such small pointers of US President Donald Trump, then there could be much more than this. And because of all of it, you Indian Prime Minister did not bow down. And today we are on this position where, because of these many reasons, where India chose to stand firm and chose to be an autonomous body, an independent body who could only think in their vision and who could would be, standing for their own things, and not like Pakistan, whose president was sitting outside the White House, sitting outside the US president's chamber, and did not call, and he was waiting there for an hour, and he was given such less priorities and such less respect out there in Washington DC. And India does not want to become a part of that crew at all, and that is why PM Narendra Modi took a stand, and today we are on the verge of becoming the fourth largest economy. Even after that, we are facing all of this, but let's just see where it takes us. And not just that, it is not a point of being worried, or something like that. If you are not going to bow down today, ultimately US President Donald Trump will get this message, and he is going to, bow down in front of us to become, or to deal with us. How long they can be away from our market? India has the second largest population in the entire world. Our market is required for any such deals and agreements right now, so US will come. But if we keep bowing down in front of US President Donald Trump, then nothing is going to happen, and that is all. If you like such geopolitical scoop, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe Global Shark. Thank you so much for watching us.